Shalom, shalom to the 144,000, the elect. Before I get started, let me give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Yahweh the one to the apostle nails of the great millstone. Peace and blessing to the brother that preaching the truth in the four winds of the earth. And Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, have mercy upon you. Alright, Kim Jong, North Korean president, well, let me say North Korean supreme leader, has a message for the U.S. and their allies, which he called what? His enemies. See, this is the difference in these countries here. They know who their enemies are. They know who their enemies are and why. And for good reason, he's calling them what? This is WLA. North Korea warns enemies after Ukraine targets. Let me put this on right quick. It say North Korea warns enemies after Ukraine targets Putin. Our weapons can annihilate. See, one thing about Ukraine, Ukraine don't have anything. If anything reaching the outer limits of Russia and their cities, that's America. America helping them, and the allies are helping them, but mainly America is the one that is actually controlling every aspect of what's transpiring with Putin, and Putin knows this. He knows this, but I just like this truth. A lot of things, like when guys are, when guys are selling out. Right? They first thing go is the name, and then they want to say their enemy, which is Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. Right? You can't really prove it, but you can prove it by what they do and say. It's obvious. No different than Kim Jong knowing that it's possible that he could be next and being struck. And America is who's better than them, or should I say, who's better than them, and not claiming something they have done. One thing that they do, America, right? They always bombing people, and then they have claims, and then most of the time they say they haven't had anything to do with it. It's ISIS. Or whatever, man. They're everywhere. But the world is on to them, and we're gonna let's get into this video here. I'm gonna play so much of it, then I'm gonna go to the comment section, which is where all the juicy stuff at, y'all. And one thing, the conversation of the people is totally different than it was 6 months to a year ago. People are not being what? They're actually speaking true facts. Nobody's playing any games anymore because the games is up. It's over with. Listen up.
Rocket launchers. KCNA says Kim called the system a major step forward in firepower. The visit, reported by the Korean Central News Agency, comes just hours after Pyongyang confirmed fresh cruise missile test fires. State media framed it as a signal of combat readiness. This is not an isolated event. It's part of a coordinated display of military capability that includes new rocket systems, strategic cruise missiles, and what state media describes as a nuclear-powered submarine. State media released images of what it claims is an 8,700-ton class nuclear-powered submarine under construction.
That's real big there, y'all. A nuclear-powered submarine.
For Pyongyang, this is about demonstrating deterrence. For Washington and Seoul, it's another reminder that North Korea's military capabilities continue to advance despite sanctions and international pressure. The timing is significant. These developments come ahead of a ruling Workers' Party Congress expected in early 2026, the first in 5 years. Analysts say the meeting could signal new policy directions, including North Korea's stance toward the United States and the future of stalled nuclear negotiations. According to KCNA, Kim described the new rocket launcher system as a...
How long has America? Let me show you something real quick. Let me show you something. How long has America been sanctioned now?
How long has America...
Y'all bear with me, y'all. Y'all bear with me. Bear with me. Bear with me. I'm about to say it a little faster. How long have U.S. had sanctions on Kim Jong of North Korea?
How long have us had sanctions on Kim Jong-un of North
You
Korea?
know what, y'all bear with me. I'm on I'm on damn YouTube. Y'all bear with me. Okay, let's hit it now. How long have sanctions been on Kim Jong-un of North Korea from the U.S.?
The U.S. has had sanctions in place against Kim Jong-un since July 6, 2016. These measures, which include asset freezes and transaction bans, were put in place due to human rights concerns.
Right? Now, guess what though? These so-called sanctions has not put a strain on their what? Their economy. And they still striving, and they doing what? Making those nuclear weapons for what? For protection. Because they know that America, if you're not part of their system, their allies, and you ain't kissing up to them or kissing their ass, and they ain't taking your resources, what's gonna happen? There's always a chance that America's gonna strike, invade, should I say? Let's go.
Super powerful weapon, capable of sudden, precise, and devastating strikes. He said the rockets would become the backbone of North Korea's offensive capability and would be deployed in large quantities during military operations. KCNA called it a main strike means. Analysts say that wording is often used to signal higher strategic importance. South Korean and Japanese media noted that KCNA described these multiple rocket launchers as potential strategic strike assets. Some outlets noted KCNA used strategic language. Outside experts say that can hint at dual capable roles, but it cannot be independently verified. This framing...
Daughter's wedding is in a month. I don't want us...
Bear with me, y'all. They gotta get their money.
Framing elevates the new rocket launchers beyond conventional artillery in Pyongyang's narrative. It positions them as a key component of North Korea's broader deterrence strategy, at least according to state media. Images released by state media showed Kim touring a vast factory floor, standing beside large missile systems surrounded by propaganda slogans. The images show a large production floor. The scale suggests expanded output, though the true production rate cannot be independently verified. Kim was accompanied by senior figures from the country's missile program, signaling what Pyongyang describes as the strategic importance of the new weapon system. High-level attendance can signal priority, though Pyongyang does not publish formal program rankings. The images show large vehicles carrying what appear to be multiple rocket launcher systems, consistent with the type of heavy artillery that could deliver significant firepower. State media quoted Kim as saying the launchers could also serve as strategic strike assets, raising concerns among outside observers over their potential deployment. This language is notable. In North Korean military communications, the strategic typically refers to weapons of higher importance, as opposed to tactical weapons designed for battlefield use. The inspection is part of a wider...
Meaning what? Long range. Huh? Long range. This is what's long range missiles. This is what they are to reach who? And North Korea ain't that far from America, right? I was finna Google, but I know man, it don't really matter. They hey man, let the weak say I am strong. That's exactly what that is. Joel 3:9, 3:9, proclaim ye this among what? The Gentiles. Huh? Prepare war, wake up the what? The mighty men. Those mighty men are what? Who all the ones that have what? Those nuclear missiles. Yeah, this is the time that we're in. A war. World War III.
Push by Kim to boost what Pyongyang calls counteroffensive capabilities, including recent tours of missile factories and weapons facilities. For South Korea and the United States, the development of such systems represents a potential concern. Heavy rocket artillery positioned near the demilitarized zone could inflict significant damage on Seoul and surrounding areas in the opening phases of any conflict. The ability to launch sudden strikes is what North Korea's stated military doctrine emphasizes. Overwhelming firepower designed to deter attack by making the cost of conflict high. North Korea carried out a cruise missile drill that KCNA described as linked to nuclear deterrence. According to KCNA, the launches were conducted on Sunday over the Yellow Sea, west of the Korean Peninsula, under the direct supervision of leader Kim Jong-un. The exercise was aimed at assessing what Pyongyang calls the combat capability and counteroffensive readiness of long-range missile units. This framing positions the test as defensive, a verification of North Korea's ability to respond to threats rather than an aggressive act, according to state media. But for South Korea and the United States, any expansion of North Korea's missile capabilities represents a potential concern, regardless of how Pyongyang characterizes the purpose. KCNA claimed the missiles flew for over 2 hours and hit their targets.
For over 2 hours. Because, North Korea is approximately, I know it's a little over 5,000 miles. Might be hit between, let me Google it real quick, y'all. Okay, North Korea is approximately 5,800 to 6,400 miles, right, from the U.S. mainland, with a flight time of over 13 hours. But they don't take no missile no 13 hours to get to reach America, right? These missiles, the capability of these nuclear missiles that they're making, in today's, they're what? They have, I'm not a missile expert, so I can't give you strict detail concerning what's inside. I can tell you about the warheads and the, we can Google anything, right? We can Google anything. They got everything. Get on in. If Google ain't got it, AI got it. So it's one and the same. But you still got to use discernment concerning what's what. But they don't have no reason to lie about that there, right? Even though they do play the numbers game.
A 2-hour flight, if accurate, could indicate a long-range profile, but exact range depends on speed and route and cannot be confirmed from KCNA alone. State media released footage showing the missiles being launched and impacting targets, underscoring what officials described as the reliability of the weapon system. The images showed missiles rising from their launchers and traveling across the water before striking what appeared to be maritime targets. Kim Jong-un expressed great satisfaction with the results of the drill, according to KCNA, and reiterated his commitment to the unlimited and sustained development of North Korea's nuclear combat forces. This language, unlimited and sustained, signals that Pyongyang has no intention of slowing its weapons development regardless of international pressure. South Korea's Joint Chiefs of Staff...
International pressure coming from who? America. The West. They don't want him to have anything concerning anything that he can use that could reach them, right? What happened to Ukraine? Not Ukraine. I'm sorry. Let's go in the comment section real quick. Somebody mentioned. Let me see something real quick. The only thing West understands its power. Good on you, Rocket Man. Shit for brain. Keep no, I don't want that. It is a very Red Fury say it is a very simple message. Don't want none. Don't start none. Right. See, America is not the only one that possess nuclear weapons, right? And at this present moment, we don't know who and well, you can give well, the West. We know the West. They own. They have a lot of nuclear weapons, but shit, Russia, China, all these. Listen, man. Before long, all of these nations and countries are going to have what? They're going to have nuclear weapons, and they all are going to come up against America, including American allies. Anyway, Marcon Fly says North Korea, it is just protecting themselves from who? Babylon. Yes, remember Libya and Iraq. That's who I was trying to think of. Iraq. Huh? Nobody trusts U.S. in Europe. Because they're what? They're a bunch of liars. They don't hold, they'll go sign a treaty with you and then later on at night bomb you. This is what these devils do. Okay, I don't know the name, Waskowski. International pressure. Be real. It's only U.S. and a few of its vassals. Let's see something. I always laugh when I read or hear international pressure, and they're all owned by what? By the same companies. What do you mean by that? Wayne says the lizard is in London. The lizards in London will be destroyed. He called it laughing emojis lizards, and he said in Germany. But it won't be long. They all are going to turn against America, and America going to they're going to get what it deserves, which is way past overdue. I don't know. Y'all know your names. Y'all just read the comment. They should be tested on the U.S. base in Japan. Damn. And this is an Edomite saying this here. Huh? Look what the Edomite say. See, the conversation, like I was saying earlier, the conversation in these comment sections now, they are totally different, man. Totally different. And look what he said. Look what the Edomite say now. I don't know what country he's from. Called it Phil for Cleo. I don't know. He said again, they should be tested on the U.S. base in Japan. And then Nordon says, sure do it. Stop talking about it and try. There we go. And then here we go. They defend the FAFO. You know, F around and find out, right? Max Spanky says, hell yeah, they should. Please do it, then you will wipe. I guess he's saying you will be wiped off the map. Please do it. Okay. You will, Eden says, you will fight among yourselves. And the Jews use you for what? For their interests. And see those small hatters over there that they thinking the people, they're gonna do what? That's who gonna draw America in that Middle East, the so-called Middle East, right? For what? For the war of Armageddon. That's who's gonna draw them in there, and then they all are gonna be drawn in the valley of decision, right? Which is the valley of the Most High judgment. Let's see. Read a couple more. Jerry Young says, so will we. Mutual assured destruction. Our THAAD system was proven ineffective try to protect Israel from Iran's onslaught. Yeah, they found that out. They found they couldn't do that, did they? He said, we will lose most of our cities and infrastructures too, alongside the utter destruction of Japan. In South Korea alone, the most guarantee that Russia and China both, who have a mutual defense pact with Korea. This man here know what he talking about here. With Korea, will add their nukes also. All three have current generation ICBMs built in the last 20 years, while our delivery system is still the Minuteman. 1970 technology that all modern air defense systems can easily deal with. Our only chance is a saturation attack, which they can do with modern system. We are not the beast. It's funny he used the word beast, y'all. We are not the beast portrayed in our media. See that? That's a man that knows what he's talking about, right? Glory to North Korea and Russia. Bye-bye corrupt America and Israel. Man, I told you, boy, the conversation is totally different in these times. Still a fan say treason. Still a fan also say who is corrupt out of those four, right? He say no one. Hey man, everybody, America is hated, man. It's and who's hated more than them? Israel, Jerusalem, the small hatters, right? Further, let me read it from a couple more there. I'm gonna read the two. Read a couple more there. Getting very interesting. North Korea has not proven to be a threat to U.S. imperialism and Western terrorism. Their communication has been clear and sober. Well, but they ain't messed with them yet. Why haven't they messed with them? Why haven't they shot a few nukes over there and lied to them and tell them something that somebody else done it? Well done, Kim. The world applauds you. Let's go back to the video.
Staff confirmed the launches, saying it detected multiple cruise missiles fired at around 8 a.m. local time from the Sunan area near Pyongyang. The South Korean military said it remains on heightened alert and is closely coordinating with the United States to monitor developments and respond to any potential provocations. This coordination between Seoul and Washington is standard practice following North Korean missile tests. Both countries maintain extensive surveillance capabilities focused on the Korean peninsula. The detection from the Sunan area near Pyongyang's international airport and a known military facility is consistent with previous cruise missile launches. South Korea's response emphasized readiness and
would begin at...
Yeah. One thing America is good at is doing
and vigilance.
Starting proxy wars between nations. You know, that they just split up and call one South Korea and one North Korea. You know, the Edomites will come in your land and split that shit up in a minute and separate it and say, this is us, this is y'all over there.
The standard messaging following North Korean weapons tests. Pyongyang framed the missile test as a defensive measure. KCNA said Kim emphasized that verifying the reliability of the country's nuclear deterrent was a legitimate exercise of its right to self-defense and war deterrence. This framing is consistent with North Korea's long-standing position. Its weapons programs are responses to external threats, not provocations.
External threats. And who's better? America's a threat to everyone. Everyone.
The comments were reported by Agence France Presse, which noted that North Korea often portrays weapons tests as reactions to joint U.S.-South Korea military activities. From Pyongyang's perspective, the ongoing military exercises between the United States and South Korea, which occur multiple times per year, represent rehearsals for an invasion. North Korea views its nuclear and missile programs as the only reliable guarantee against what it perceives as an existential threat. The cruise missile test follows another significant development. State media released images of what it claims is an 8,700-ton class nuclear-powered submarine.
Submarine images, state media claim 8,700-ton vessel under construction.
Recent state images show a large hull that outside analysts describe as significant progress, though key details remain unverified. This marks one of the first times Pyongyang has publicly shown images of the vessel since announcing its nuclear submarine ambitions in 2021. According to KCNA, leader Kim Jong-un said the submarine would strengthen the country's ability to respond to what he called an increasingly hostile security environment. The displacement figure claimed by state media, if accurate, would make this a substantial vessel. But independent verification of the submarine specifications is not possible from images alone. The images show a sail integrated into a raised turtleback structure, a design feature that analysts say could potentially house missile launch tubes. Analysts looking at the images say they appear to show features consistent with sonar equipment and torpedo tubes. The turtleback design is consistent with submarines intended to carry submarine-launched ballistic missiles or cruise
missiles, right?
Missiles, the type of platform that could potentially threaten targets at long range.
Long range from the sea, y'all. From the sea. That's a hell of a. I mean, when you have a submarine that can tow nuclear missiles, man, you got yourself something now, right? And you think America ain't not concerned about that? They don't want them people next to them with all that firepower, huh? And then now they produce submarines. Shit.
North Korea operates one of the world's largest submarine fleets by number of hulls, according to multiple defense assessments, primarily consisting of small coastal submarines of limited capability. But in recent years, Pyongyang has worked to upgrade its undersea capabilities. That includes what it described as its first ballistic missile submarine around 2017, a cruise missile submarine unveiled in 2023, and what state media called a nuclear-armed unmanned underwater drone tested from April.
Unmanned, unarmed, right? Meaning it can go do what it needs to do. Shit. Let the weak say I am strong. America don't want no parts of these people, man. And then they allies with Putin. Huh? With Putin. They let them know. North Korea warns enemies after Ukraine targets Putin. And you know if they try Putin and hit Putin, they'll do me. They'll hit me. I'll be next. But they ready. They ready for war. And you best believe China and Russia definitely gonna back him up.
2023. U.S. analysts assess that these submarine programs may be intended to pave the way for a nuclear-powered ballistic missile submarine, providing Pyongyang with what strategists call a survivable second strike capability. This concept is central to nuclear deterrence theory. A first strike refers to an attack intended to destroy an adversary's nuclear forces before they can be used. A second strike capability is the ability...
Before they can be used. Huh? Before they can be used. You think they don't feel that? You hear these? Before they can be used, they can destroy whatever it is that they're going to have to defend them. They can destroy it first. Let me roll that back a little bit. Roll that back a little bit. Hear that again.
Analysts assess that these submarine programs may be intended to pave the way for a nuclear-powered ballistic missile submarine, providing Pyongyang with what strategists call a survivable second strike capability. This concept is central to nuclear deterrence theory. A first strike refers to an attack intended to destroy an adversary's nuclear forces before they can be used. A second strike capability is the ability to absorb such an attack and still retaliate with devastating force.
Huh? Still Y'all hear that? A lot of y'all don't know what the hell. A lot of y'all don't give a damn no way. You ain't gonna give a damn until that fire hit your ass. That's when you gonna give a damn.
For the United States, this raises concerns. A North Korean nuclear submarine, if successfully developed and deployed, could potentially survive even a successful first strike on the country's land-based forces. Unlike diesel submarines, nuclear-powered submarines can remain submerged for extended periods, allowing them to operate far from their home ports. Submarine-launched missiles can approach from unexpected directions, including potential strike paths that could complicate existing missile defense architectures. This concern is magnified by North Korea's reported work on hypersonic-type systems. U.S. and regional analysts say North Korea has tested hypersonic-type...
I was doing something. Y'all didn't hear that part where he said that it can submerge. Let's roll that back again. I was doing something. Let's roll it back again.
Concerns. A North Korean nuclear submarine, if successfully developed and deployed, could potentially survive even a successful first strike on the country's land-based forces. Unlike diesel submarines, nuclear-powered submarines can remain
nuclear-powered submarines
submerged for extended periods, allowing them to operate far from their home ports. Submarine-launched missiles can approach from unexpected directions, including potential strike paths that could complicate existing missile defense architectures.
That's real big. You think they're not worried about that, man? You think they're not worried about that? Boy, they are preparing. Let's hear a little more. I gotta get into the lesson, cause I been got, you know me, I been re-rolling.
This concern is magnified by North Korea's reported work on hypersonic-type systems. U.S. and regional analysts say North Korea has tested hypersonic-type systems. Operational status remains unclear. U.S. defense officials have expressed concern that such technology could allow...
Yeah, they're gonna always say unclear, right? They're gonna always say they're not gonna give them any credit. They're not gonna give Russia, China, North Korea, Venezuela. They don't give none of them any credit. They're not gonna act like they are in fear, right? They slick and they do underhanded shit all the time. You know, soon you turn your back, they stick a knife in your back. They like to catch you off guard. That's what them devils good at.
Allow future submarine-launched missiles to complicate existing air and missile defenses. The combination of a nuclear...
You don't need a second.
Come on, man. Good God, man.
Nuclear-powered submarine, long-range missiles, and advanced delivery systems represents a potential threat that U.S. defense planners take seriously if the programs prove successful. Kim condemns South Korea's parallel submarine plans, labeling them an offensive act that North Korea must counter. South Korean outlets and officials say Seoul is pursuing...
All right, man, I got to get in these precepts, man. Look, if you want to watch the rest of this, that thing is 24 minutes, man. Real good. Here's the station right here. It's WLA. North Korea warns enemies after Ukraine targets Putin. Our weapons can annihilate. And again, that's WLA. Right? Let's get in these precepts, right? Let me get back over to Kim. Do I want to put this on? Where that submarine at? Where that submarine at, y'all? Let's get that, put that submarine on. There you go, right there. Well, that submarine, I want to get the tail part of it, though. Huh? There, y'all see it. Y'all see it. North Korea nuclear submarine. Right? Let's go over to Joel, right? Joel 3 and 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, which is the other nations, right? Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Wake up the mighty men. What mighty men? For those who have what? Those nuclear missiles. Capabilities. And let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Where are they coming up and where are they going? Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. And this is what we're seeing, right? What the world don't get is that the let me see something here. Hold on, let me read let me read 11, verse 11, which is Joel 3 and 11. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause the mighty ones to come down, O Lord Yahweh. And like I was just saying, what the world don't get is those mighty ones are who? Yahweh Shai, his angels. We're starting with the archangel, which is Michael, which is the angel of war. Huh? What that is? Revelation 16, y'all bear with me. Revelation 16 and Revelation 16 and 12. And the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates. That's the so-called Middle East, right? And the water thereof was dried up. Remember a few years ago that they were talking about the river of Euphrates has dried up? Man, listen, man, the prophecy, the Bible is literally, man, especially in these last 5-6 years or so, been what, man? Been coming off the pages, man. Sure enough. Literally coming off the pages. And then now, most of you are definitely aware concerning the scriptures and the truth concerning the scriptures, because you have what? You got the prophets. It's mainly, especially the men of GMS, that's giving you what? True prophecy and not caring about what? Feelings and emotions. And the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates, and the water thereof was dried up, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared. What are they preparing for? War. They are preparing for war. What's that? Revelations, y'all bear with me. Revelation 9. Revelation 9 and 9 and 12. 9 and 12. Let's start there. Point down verse 14, but 9 and 12. One woe is past, which is World War I, and behold, there come two woe, which is World War II. More after, and the sixth angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the four horns of the golden altar, which is before thy power, saying to the sixth angel which had the trumpet, loose the four angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates. World War III, man. Persian Gulf. Right? Four angels holding back what? The destruction of America. Where mainly the destruction of America. America is where the lake of fire is going to be. Right? And we all know in term, what's not going to get it too, which is Israel. Can't say that enough. No, they both are going to be desolate, but nobody, no place on earth is going to be what? Going to be a desolation that America is going to get. Revelation 15 and 1. And I saw another sign in heaven, great and marvelous. 7 angels having the 7 plagues, the 7 last plagues, for in them is filled up the what? The wrath of thy power. That's those nuclear missiles. And I saw, well, along with Yahweh Shai and the angels, right? But that wrath, who's going to guide those missiles? Huh? Yahweh Shai is going to guide those missiles, man. to hit and go where they would that he need them to go, right? And I saw as it was the sea of glass, which is the ozone layer, right? Mingle with fire, and them who? The elect. That's what y'all don't get. That everybody, y'all always talk about the community. The Heavenly Father is not concerned with the community, man. Yahweh Shai is not concerned with the community. He's only concerned with his elect during this time, starting with the men, which is 144,000. And mingle with fire, and them, which is the elect, that had gotten victory. How did they get the victory? Huh? How did they get the victory? Because they didn't take the mark, which a lot of you camps are not what? Are not warning the people and shaking the hands of the people and warning the people concerning what the mark is. How did they get the victory? Over the beast. And over what? His image, which is the system. The beast is what? It's a system. Right? Over his image, the system. Look at these Democrats and Republicans arguing back and forth like fools. Among them, they be wanting that every election come around, y'all be want to chop off each other's neck, right? That's the system, but the new system is what? The new world order is going to consist of what? Of the microchip. And over his mark, which is the what? The microchip, and over the number of his name, let me turn the page, stand on the sea of glass, meaning the firmament, having the harp of thy power. And they sing the song of Moses, which is Deuteronomy 32. Sing the song of Moses, the servant of thy power, and the song of the Lamb. Who, what Lamb? Yahweh Shai, who y'all equally call Jesus, saying, great and marvelous are they of thy work, the Lord God Almighty, just and true are thy ways, thou King of saints. Who shall not fear thee, O Lord, and glorify thy name? Thy name, y'all. The name is matters. For those of you all think the name does not matter. For those of you all still calling on your oppressor's God. Who shall not fear, O Lord, fear thee, O Lord, and glorify thy name? For thou only art holy. For all nations shall come and worship before thee, for thy judgments are what are made manifest. So this is or should I say, hold on, let's go back to Joel right quick. I want to make a point. I was just reading that'll go over hold on, I'm looking for Joel, okay. Concerning the hold on, let me get Joel before I ran my mouth and then forgot where I was going. I go here in Joel, which is Joel, where did I stop at? 3. Let's go 3 and 12. 3 and 12, right? 3 and 12. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat. That's again I stated earlier, which is the valley of the Most High judgment, which is the valley of decisions, right? Which is where all the armies are going to be what? They're going to receive that judgment in the so-called Middle East. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Round about. Verse 13. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. What harvest? Which is the elect. Because at that point, the elect will be sealed. The elect will be sealed. What that is? Revelation 14. Y'all bear with me now. Revelation 14 and 14. Revelation 14 and 14. And I looked, and behold, a white cloud, which is a chariot, And upon the cloud one sat like unto the Son of Man, having on his head a golden crown, and in his hand a sharp sickle. Who y'all equally call who? Who y'all equally calls Jesus, right? Verse 15. And another angel came out of the temple, crying with a loud voice to him that sat on the cloud, thrust in thy sickle and reap. What is he reaping? For the time is come for the what? Thee to reap. The elect is going to be what? At that point, the elect is going to be what? Taken up. That's the great. That's going to be the great escape of all time. Right? For thee to reap. For the harvest of the earth is ripe. And he that sat on the cloud, which is on the chariot, which is the chariot, thrust in his sickle on the earth, and the earth was reaped. And another angel came out of the temple, which is in heaven, he also having a sharp sickle. And another angel came out from the altar, which had power over fire, and cried with a loud cry to him that had the sharp sickle, saying, thrust in thy sharp sickle and gather. What is he gathering? The elect. He's not gathering a bunch of women, a bunch of Eves that like shaking their ass and sleeping around and going man to man, and not trying to snatch up no jakes in no community, gunning each other down and selling drugs. This is what y'all don't get, right? You know, Revelation is boring to you. Why is it boring to you? Because why? The understanding is not clear to you because you are what? The spiritually, the Heavenly Father is not dealing with you. And another angel came out from the altar, which had power over fire, and cried with a loud cry to him that had the sharp sickle, saying, thrust in the sharp sickle and gather the clusters of the vine of the earth. And again, they are what? They are the elect. Right? And then once he gathered the elect, what's coming? Judgment. For her grapes are fully ripe. Then come what? The judgment, y'all. How are you going to get it? You can't get around that. You're not going to get around the judgment of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah. You're not going to get around it. A few more. Verse 19. And the angel of Revelation 14 and 19, and the angel thrust in his sickle into the earth and gathered the vine. What vine, y'all? You sinners. Of the earth, and cast it into the great winepress of the wrath of thy power. That's the nuclear destruction that you all are going to get. Which is death by fire, which is the second death. Verse 20. And the winepress was trodden without the city, and blood came out of the winepress, even unto the horse bridled by the space of 1,600. Meaning what? That just gives a number of what? Concerning what? Deaths. Furlongs. The scriptures speak about and say, okay, where was I? Let's go back over here in Joel. Let's start back at verse 13, which is Joel 3 and 13. Put ye in the sickle, which is what I was just reading. For the what? The harvest is ripe. What harvest? The elect is sealed. This is the end of what? Of Esau, Edom world. Right? Come get you down, for the press is full. The fats overflow for what? Their wickedness is great. Their wickedness is great. Multitudes in the valley of decision. For the day of the Lord Yahweh is near. In the valley of decision, the sun and the moon shall be, let me see, 16:16, Revelation 16:16. Let's read that real quick. I'm going to come back to that, right? Revelation 16:16, what is it? And he gathered them together into the what? A place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon. Meaning what? The war of troops. Right? War of troops. Where was I? Okay, verse 15. of Joel 3:15. The sun and the moon shall be darkened, because they're gonna shoot so many nuclear missiles over here. Listen, man, think about it. How else the scriptures are speaking about, and in 1 hour, Babylon will be destroyed. How is that gonna? How will you think it? How or you think that's going to take part of being destroyed? And along with, not only with the missiles, the what? You got the chariot, you got the Yahweh Shai. Destruction of America is going to be like no other, man. It's going to be a great destruction, man. Which is what? The sun and the moon shall be darkened. Well, America, it's going to be like no America, but the valley of decision, meaning of Armageddon, which is the so-called Middle East, they both are going to get what? They're going to get that destruction. But America is that lake of fire. For the day, let me say that. For the day, sometimes I forget to say that, the day of the Lord Yahweh is near in the valley of decision. The sun and the moon shall be darkened, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. The Lord Yahweh also shall roar out of Zion and utter his voice from Jerusalem. And the heavens and the earth shall shake from what? That nuclear blast, the missiles. But the Lord Yahweh will be the hope of his people and the strength of the children of Israel. Not the world. It said the strength of the children of Israel. Don't say no heathens are going up in no chariots and they're going to save a heathen. It said the children of Israel. So shall ye know that I am the Lord Yahweh, your God, dwelling in Zion, my holy mountain. Then shall Jerusalem be holy, and there shall no strangers pass through her any more. What does that mean? Jeremiah 30 and verse 8 goes into, and strangers shall no more serve themselves of him, meaning no more captivity or slavery for what? For the Israelites. Because from that point, we, the children of Israel, we shall only serve the one and true God, Yahweh, man, and his son, Yahweh Shai. So, keep thinking that when you all, when the time comes that that the prophets are speaking and warning you all and giving you warning, especially concerning that MOTB, because that's the only thing that is left. Because look at what's going on in the earth, man. Everybody is getting these nuclear missiles. All of these nations, these small, especially the smaller nations that are what? They're arming themselves nuclearly, man. Because of what? Because the scriptures speak about them preparing themselves, prepare war, wake up the mighty men. Those are the nations, man, or the other nations that are what? That are going to prepare themselves against Babylon, America, man. And they all going to meet in the so-called Middle East for the what? For the valley, the most high, which is judgment, which is the valley of decision. This is going to happen, and it's going to take place just as the scriptures say it is. And how do you know how is it going to take place? Because the prophets are what? Are warning you all and telling you, man. Just before the warning, right before the storm. We have always, the Heavenly Father have always sent his prophets to warn the people before what? His people first, and then foremost what? The other nations. Because those nations are what? Are most likely are the true rulers, and we as Israelites, we're in the hands of our enemies. So we coming with according to Isaiah 13 and 1, shaking their hand and warning the people concerning the judgment of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. So then I would say, call halal Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Rakah Kudash Shalom.